Welcome to episode 2 of Rigor Mortis Paranormal. Today we've got great stories, including 2 grandfather stories. One where one is saying hello and one is saying goodbye. A tourist terrifying night at La Belle Maison, a hotel in New Orleans. A happy haunted ceiling fan and more terrifying events. My name is David and this is Robert.
Hello.
Boy, we've been having a lot of trouble just getting these first few minutes down.
Yeah, it's been crazy. What's it been like? Way over an hour just trying to get this done. It's weird because this computer's been acting up and I don't think we had any problems like that.
No, we haven't. We've actually rebooted several times and we keep getting this issue, but...
it's got to be the house because where we're recording from, we feel that it's got like hauntings going on here. It's nothing drastic, nothing big, but just little things that we see here. You know, just like shadows and things like that. We can feel like, somebody sitting next to you when no one's there. You can feel the cushions going down. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird. I don't know if that was the cause of this, but it's definitely weird.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, and like we talked about before, we've got all kinds of stories for you guys. I mean, it's stuff starting back in the 70s, because of course, that's kind of our era.
From the 70s? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
it is.
70s.
Yes, it is.
Man, we were just talking about earlier today, the old days.
Programs that they had. Yeah,
we had 3 channels, the ABC, NBC, and CBS, if you want to count PBS.
PBS, yes, it was terrible, but back then, electric company and everything.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this back in the day. It was hard to stay awake. I remember I always tried to, as a kid, try to stay up and watch Project Terror.
Ooh, man, Project Terror, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the movies ain't as good as the way they are now.
Yeah, it's funny because even the movies themselves weren't that great, but it was just that intro to Project Terror.
Yes. That scared the hell out of me. I mean, it make you want to go to sleep after that. I'm just trying to stay awake, but it's too scary. And then what do they have? Vincent Price coming up. Just something.
Yeah. And for those of y'all that don't know, it's a local San Antonio thing.
It was like the introduction to it. Was just
it's like a movie night, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was called Project Terror, so they would get like these older movies out on there, and they're very old.
Tonight we've got
Boris Karloff, the name of the
Dracula movies and
what's it say? Creature from the Black Lagoon. I can't remember that. But they had Godzilla movies.
Godzilla.
Which was great, and I really tried to stay for those.
I love that. Yeah. And Kolchak too. Remember Kolchak?
The Night Stalker. That was way back.
That was cool.
That was.
Love that, man.
And y'all remember Darren McGavin?
Darren McGavin as the father from Christmas Story.
There you go. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Those are some good times and scary times too, because we had so many crazy things happen to us.
Exactly.
That's what got us into this stuff.
And we're hoping to get more stories from y'all, and we'd love to put them up. We feel like there's sometimes people may not want to talk about it, or they just feel like they can't. Well, this is a place you can talk about this. And we'd definitely love to hear from y'all. And we're not going to think you're crazy or anything like that, because we've been through this. We know exactly where you're coming from. Maybe not as bad as y'all's, or maybe not as... but we've been through it, so we know.
Yeah, definitely. Give us a call. We'd love to hear your stories.
That number again is 210-901-8666, or you can get a hold of us at
info@rigormortisparanormal.com. The phone calls, you might want to mention something, Rob.
Yeah, the minutes, you got to tell your story like 3 minutes, but what you can do is if you got to go over or longer, we recommend go ahead and tell your story. Call back and just tell us, okay, this is part 2 of the story that you were talking before. David's really good at editing this stuff, and we'll get it out there and make you sound like a pro.
If you mess up too, because I know there's times you're telling stories and you might kind of mess up in the middle of your story, don't worry about it. Just keep talking. I'll edit it. I'll make you guys sound great.
That's what we're doing. We're telling the story, so it's not going to be you guys just tell your story. I mean, you tell it the way you want to tell it. Don't worry about how you say it. We want to hear it.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Man, let's get into our first story.
It comes
They
to
emailed
us.
It to us, right?
Yes, this one is emailed.
Let's shift through some of these pages here. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're kind of old school here,
No, I'll get in. Yeah, here we go. I found her email right here. Mary Ellen writes, "Hello, Dave and Robert. My story is about my grandfather. My family and I were very close to him. He always had a story to tell, whether he was fighting Pancho Villa or being a World War II pilot, to almost fighting Rocky Marciano for the championship belt. He always had a story to tell. Back in 1999, he became very ill, so he moved in with my mother. One of his daily rituals was to wake up around 7 in the morning, grab his cup of coffee, and sit down in his little pink chair on the porch of the house, and waving at cars that passed by. He did this up until the day he got too ill to do this. In January of 2000, he passed away, and our family was devastated. It was very sad. My mom was taking it especially hard. Well, later, the city mortician came to pick up my grandfather. As they were placing him in the ambulance, the lady next door asked my mother what happened. Who were they taking? My mother told her, my father. The neighbor said, that can't be. I just saw him this morning sitting on the porch drinking his coffee. This couldn't be because my father had been on hospice and unable to get out of his bed for the last 2 months. He passed away around 5 a.m., so this was simply impossible. Another strange incident that happened that day, my sister had told me her answering machine went on and made a long buzzing noise. And when she looked at the clock, it was 5 a.m. I think it was just his way of saying goodbye. Anyway, that's my story. Thanks for letting me tell it.
Wow, that's a pretty interesting story.
That's
When you
weird,
think
yes.
about it. That's pretty cool.
That is, I'm thinking that may have been his way of saying, hey, everything's okay. I'm fine. He's still doing his routine, even
Yeah.
when he passed on, doing something he enjoyed.
Yeah, that's weird. I've heard stories like this where, it's kind of strange where people are, when they pass away, it's like something happens like right away afterwards, like almost like they're letting you know that they're passing on.
Maybe, yeah.
Letting friends and families know.
Maybe that's how tightly knit this family was to their grandfather, that he just wanted to let them know that, yes, everything's okay. I'm gonna be okay. You guys are gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's maybe upstairs in the big house upstairs, drinking coffee on his little pink chair.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine where I'm gonna be at that. You know what? I guess one of my things in my old age that I'm gonna be doing is probably occupying the toilet.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite things to do.
That or drinking a beer.
They're like, hey, Grandpa came back from the dead. He's in the toilet.
Yeah,
It
I
smells
know.
like somebody died in there.
Right? They're trying to.
And we're not making light of Mary Ellen's story. This is, but I mean, it gives comfort also to let them know that maybe it is him saying that he's okay. That's a good one. I like that.
All right, and this next email comes to us from Yolanda. I'll go ahead and read this one off. She says, my story happened in the summer of 2012 while visiting New Orleans. My husband thought it would be a great idea to do some type of scary tour, and the city being rich in voodoo, what better than doing the Madame Laveau tour? We visited the cemetery where Madame Laveau was buried, which I feel may have attributed to our eventful night. Anyhow, the night went on, and my husband had the bright idea to buy one of these really large margaritas, which helped him get to sleep that night. Meanwhile, me and the 3 kids had to watch cartoons for a couple of hours to clear our minds before turning in for the night. Around 2 or 3 a.m., I was wakened from a deep sleep to this really demonic whispering right in my ear. Seconds after that, my 3-year-old yells as she is awakened and starts to look to the ceiling. She continues yelling and crying. My 14-year-old, who was asleep in the other room, ran to our room saying he has been hearing furniture shuffling around for a few minutes, almost as if there were somebody moving. He was spooked as he knew something wasn't right. Funny thing is, we were on the top floor. There was nobody above us. I woke up my husband, who slept through the whole incident. He tried to settle us down, but the rest of the night I didn't sleep much as I was already scared. Fortunately, nothing else happened that night, and the next morning we checked out. Wow, okay.
New Orleans got everything haunted down
Yeah.
there. It's kind of hard to say any place that you go to would not have any kind of ghost or anything down there, or any kind of paranormal or mystery.
Yeah, that area is like crazy. And then now with, everything that just happened recently, with Katrina.
Exactly,
I'm sure
yeah.
It's gonna get even more crazy, in the next, few years. Who knows?
Exactly. The thing is, I did some research, and it's actually a really nice hotel, but I could not find anything on that one. But that's not to discredit, because actually she's kind of surrounded by other hotels and other properties around there that are involved with hauntings. So it could easily have been the area.
Yeah, that's true.
They have several. They have the Hotel Mansion de Ville, and that one, guests have complained about hearing mysterious wet footsteps.
Did you say wet footsteps?
Yeah, like if somebody just got, don't ask, they see them actually. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like if if you're coming out and you're walking with wet, women and men have also reported seeing people dressed in vintage clothing, I guess like from the 1700s. It's, disembodied voices rapping on the doors, things of that nature. They also have the Le Pavillon Hotel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Was built in 1907. That one they say is haunted by a gentleman who likes to play pranks on the cleaning staff, but they also complain about seeing other ghosts in there, just like shadows, and they hear voices also, things of that nature. And that's all over. You go to what we were talking about earlier, cemeteries, how they can't bury them because of all the wetland and all that.
Yeah, the water problems they got there.
Well, and then where Mary Laveau, of course, what is it, St. Louis Cemetery?
Yeah, that's right.
To be haunted. I mean, you name it, they have it. It's just like here, but they have so much hauntings and paranormal things down there that I can only think that this could manifest itself, or maybe this is just one that, the way it sounds though, it sounds like, because it was scaring the kids, it sounds almost...
Well, she heard somebody talking in her ear, which, and it didn't sound very nice either, so...
See, and that's what I'm saying, it's scaring the kids too, so obviously it's not a nice ghost, so... Yeah. And I do believe that. I mean, just because there's nothing on it, maybe the hotel doesn't like that kind of publicity.
That's true. There's so many things in the area that maybe they're just passing by that day, the ghost.
Yeah, he's just heading down to go get us something on the French Quarters.
Yeah, maybe he's going to grab himself a margarita.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
husband trying to get permission, the husband can go.
Yeah, right. He's trying to find a partner to go with him.
Oh, no, we're just kidding, Yolanda. But I do believe that can happen. There's so much shit happening in New Orleans.
Yeah,
paranormal.
There is.
And, that's just my opinion. That's a good story. I like that one also.
Yep. Yeah, thank you very much, Elon.
Next, we have a call-in story from Jacqueline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's another grandfather story, and it's right here in our hometown. Hello, Jacqueline. Go ahead and tell us your story.
So I fell asleep, and my uncle was asleep on the other side of the room. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I remember looking up towards where my uncle was sleeping, and I saw this man, an older gentleman. All I could remember was he had a bright yellow orange shirt on and his watch. His watch was very shiny, and I didn't know who the man was. So I was so scared, I went back under the covers for about a minute or two. Came back up, didn't see the man there, so I ran to my grandma's room, and I saw my grandma and my grandpa were sleeping still. I went to my great-grandfather's room, and he was still asleep. So I remember going to the restroom and sitting there on the toilet for about 2 to 3 minutes till I got the courage to go back to the room. So I remember walking back to the room, and I didn't see anyone there. But the crazy thing was, years later, when I think I was in my 20s, one of my aunts showed me a picture of my grandfather, which passed away a few years before I was born. Never seen him before, never saw a picture of him. And the man I saw that night over my uncle looked exactly like my grandfather. Same color shirt. He was wearing the same shirt that he was wearing in that picture. So it was just crazy. So that's the story I have for you, Robert and David.
All right, thank you, Jacqueline, for that story.
Yes, thank you very much. That was a good one.
Another grandfather story.
Exactly. The last one was saying goodbye, they're still okay. The last grandfather story we talked about earlier in the show. This one seems more like maybe they're checking up on the son.
You're right. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like the grandfather's looking over his son, and she woke up and just so happened to see that.
But this is my thing. I guess she was just pretty sensitive. Maybe she picked up on this, or she wasn't all the way to sleep. But she's the one who saw her grandfather, which to me I think is cool because she never knew what he looked like. And I can only imagine what she felt when she saw that picture. So what'd she say? Something like 20 years later?
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine that? Just like, wait, hey, that's the guy I saw. This is my grandfather I saw, which is her grandfather. Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And the other thing you think about is, who's to say how many times we've been asleep and, somebody's looking over us?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
That's gotta be a creepy feeling.
No, when you're saying that, I'm just like, yeah, that would be kind of creepy at the same time.
Hey, we'd really love to hear you guys' story. Thank you, Jacqueline, and we need to hear more stories.
Yes, we do. We really love you. These stories that are coming in, they're very, very interesting. Again, that number is 210-901-8666. And that's a 3-minute call. So remember, if your story goes a little over, please go ahead and feel free to call again. Just let us know that, hey, this is part 2 of this story, or however you did it. We'd love to hear from y'all.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we can edit the phone calls too. So if you make any mistakes or anything, don't worry about it. We'll make sure you sound good. You sound like a pro.
Yeah, if you're the shy type, what is that, Dave?
You can email us at info@rigormortisparanormal.com. And some people may have little issues spelling rigor mortis because it sounds like a weird word, but it's info@rigormortis paranormal.com.
Yes, that's for you ladies and gentlemen who are a little shy. Maybe y'all don't like y'all's voice like me online or on the air. If y'all submit y'all's story, that to me I think is pretty cool, because you can sometimes go into detail, and you got some good writers out there that they're really good at doing stuff like that. So we'd love to hear from y'all.
Let's get to our next story.
Oh yes, the fan story.
Yeah, it's a personal one. This is one that happened to my daughter when she was younger, and this happened in, I'd say, 2009 maybe, because she was about 2 years old.
She's young, that's it.
And it was kind of creepy, not to me because it didn't happen to me, but I can only imagine my daughter, and I feel so bad for her now.
Exactly. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah,
You know,
and everybody wants to protect their daughters and sons,
their children. Yeah, you know. So what happened was we had this brown wooden fan that
fan.
Yeah, it was kind of ugly, and I had the sections for the light bulbs that some of them didn't even work. I mean, it had 4 lights.
Wait. You're talking about ceiling fan?
A ceiling fan.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I probably should have specified. Yeah.
I was like, wooden fan. That's cool.
No, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Y'all have Blackbeard's fan. I'm sorry, man.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't specify, but yeah, this was a wooden ceiling fan. It was a pretty trashy fan, but it was given to us, so we're like, the hell with it. We'll put it up and we'll make it work. Anyhow, my daughter, she was only 2 years old. It was between 2 and 3 years old. Actually, it happened between 2 and 3 because it happened for a long while. But what it was we had the ceiling fan, and she would always look up and she would stare at the fan all the time, and she's like, Daddy, the fan's smiling at me.
What?
I know, and I was like, smiling at. I was like, come on,
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, I'd try and take her mind off it, go to something else, but she'd do it again, and it would happen all the time. She's like, Daddy, the fan's smiling at me. One night she had a really bad fever. Maybe it attributed to what happened this night, but she looks up at the fan and she's like trembling and holding on to me, and she's like, Daddy, the fan's talking to me. I'm like, whoa, okay now. And I know things happened to us as we were growing up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this can happen, but I'm looking at the fan and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the fan. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. But she's like, the fan, it's talking to me. I'm like, well, what is the fan saying? And she looks up at it and she looks at me and she's really shaking. And she's like, the fan is telling me hello. So I covered her eyes. I'm like, don't look at the fan anymore.
Did that help her?
No, it didn't. She was crying.
Oh, that's a trip.
Yeah, and I thought maybe it was just because of fever, but she always told me the fan was smiling at her. It was looking at her. So I tried to see if maybe there's something that looks like an eye. Because again, she's only 2 or 3 years old. So I thought, well, maybe she's seeing things. Maybe she can make pictures out of the fan. So I look at the fan and I can't see anything.
You know what? These kids, they see things way before we do. I mean, and they get picked on way before we do, because nobody ever believes anything that they say, or, they're the innocents.
I mean, most of the stuff that happened to us was in the 70s, and how old were we then?
We were young.
70s.
3, 4, around there, yeah.
Eventually we replaced the fan. It took us about a year, and I swear this whole year she constantly complained about the fan, looking at her, talking to her. Even when she didn't have a fever, the fan was still talking to her. So I didn't know what to make of it.
Was she happy when y'all got rid of it?
Oh man, she was. And what was weird is I was expecting her to say, well, I still see something when we put the new fan in. It was just a plain white fan. It was a generic thing, but it was new, so this wasn't a hand-me-down. So who's to say what the was with the old fan, but we put the new fan up and never, not even once. So she was so excited as a child. Maybe she was 3 by then, because like I said, it happened for about a year solid.
Man, that's a trip. And then you said that you changed out the fan and she didn't have a problem with the second one.
Yeah, not at all.
Oh, that's something else. Hey, that you say this, I have one just like that, and I'm not topping you because that's great.
No,
this is
let's hear it.
This happened about, my son's 19 years old, so this happened when he was about 2, so let's say 17 years ago. I remember we lived in this house, and it didn't have central heating or nothing like that, and I remember it was hot, and it goes, man.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. It's like
Bring it. Hey, trust me, man. I've been there. We've been there.
So I know it was just me. I was watching him. I was babysitting him. I don't know where everybody was at in the house, but everybody was gone. I laid my son down, and he fell asleep. He was, like I said, he was about 2 years old. No, he was maybe a little because he was walking, and he was running around. But he used to run around in his Pampers. And one day, I remember it was late. It was probably about 11:30 or so, and he was asleep. And I had been drinking, of course. So our restroom was way in the back of the house. And where I laid him down was in the front room. It was cooler there. They had an AC. The rest of the house was stifling. I mean, it was one of those where it was bad enough I had to go to the restroom and it had no windows. And I had to kind of stew in my own juices there. It was so hot that, man, I'm serious, man. I would go in there, I'd be wearing nothing but my socks, man. And I could feel, it's one of those where you could feel like the driplets of sweat going down your, rolling off beads of sweat, just like you're in there. You're like, please hurry. So I'm in there. And nobody wants to go in there. I'm serious. I barely want to be in there. So I hear these little footsteps. I mean, like hauling ass. Because we had a wooden floor. So they're echoing. Man, they're running. And I know who it is. It's my son. And he's like tripping out big times. He launches himself from the restroom door. And he just jumps on me. I mean, and I'm like, son. And he's trying to climb on me, but he can't because I'm all sweaty.
Is your butt naked?
Man, I'm serious. I'm trying to son. What's going on? So what I'm doing is I'm holding him, and I'm like, okay, hold on. Man, mind you, I hadn't,
hadn't wiped.
Yeah, hadn't literally wiped the backside. So I'm holding him. I'm tripping out. But what's freaky about it is, man, he was looking at the corner of just right outside our restroom. And yes, I did have the door open because I wanted to make sure I heard my son if he cried so I can hurry up. But on the outside of that restroom was our washroom. And he kept staring right at the top of the corner, like tripping out and pointing. And he turned his face like he didn't want to look at it no more. And I was like, man, what the hell? He started tripping me out. I was like, man, I'm fixing just to pick my pants up, man. We can wipe later. I remember that kind of tripping me out. That's just one of those small tidbits that we have of stories, and I know it's more gross than anything. I felt bad for him, but man, can you imagine being that scared? Man, jumping on somebody?
Hey, man, yeah.
Especially if it smelled that bad in there. It was like
their pants down and you still go, man.
I was like, you don't have nothing to worry about. The ghost ain't coming in here.
So did you see anything when you looked up in the corner?
Nothing, man. And I was, you know what? It was so trippy because as frightened, it's like you said, as scared as your baby was and my baby was, as scared as they were, you start to think, man, like, hey, man, I've been here before.
Right.
And I saw that shit. I know they're seeing something, or maybe, but I kept looking at that corner, and it took me, I'm not kidding, it took me like 5 minutes to put him down. And I said, just turn around, and I got you, buddy. I had to do my business, clean up, and go. So, man, you should have seen it when we were walking out the door. He was like yelling, like he didn't want to look in that corner. And then, so the next day when he was up, it's weird, nothing. I was like, son, I was like, do you remember yesterday, do you remember what's up in that corner? And he was like, no, I'm thinking maybe it was a dream or night terrors or something like that. Right. But like,
you don't think it was a dream then, or?
He was wide awake. I mean, that guy was wide awake. His eyes looked like they were about to pop out. Yeah. It's just one of those things that it just scares the hell out of you. Yeah, but I hear you because, and here we go, children are the innocence of the world, and they see things faster than we do. And I figure ghosts are any kind of poltergeist, demons, whatever you have, they're going to be the first ones that they pick on because nobody believes anything they say. So it's one of those things that I'm thinking that me and you, and probably everybody in our family, that we've been through all the bullshit that we've seen, and maybe we do believe them a little bit more, which makes it kind of cool, but not cool too when it happens to them. But
but actually thinking about that, these are little kids. A lot of that stuff happened to us when we were kids. So
exactly.
Maybe it has something to do about being a young and innocent, like you said.
And I'm thinking this too because, like, okay, all this stuff, especially in that one house, where our first episode that we were talking about, where David saw the incident with the mirror,
and you heard your name called out.
Okay, we were such a tight-knit family. Back then, we rarely argued with each other. I mean, we just only had each other. So we always had each other back. So I'm thinking that's one of those, and then especially Mom was the glue.
Yeah.
Since we're that tight, I'm thinking all that love that we had for each other, it didn't get to us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever was trying to, it didn't win.
Yeah.
And I still believe that. I think I'm going to need a tissue.
No, I hear you, Rob. No, same here. I mean, we've had a lot of interesting things happen, and,
yeah.
and it's crazy that it's happened to our kids now.
And that's scary,
when we
yeah.
think about that,
As long as they're just light things like that. But, and I talk to Jacob about that sometimes, and he's like, man, why the hell did I even walk in? I don't even like walking past the door, Dad, when you're taking a shit. And it's closed.
Right.
I was like, no, son.
Right. Trust me.
You were climbing my stomach, Mount Everest, trying to, I don't know where you were going. You were trying to climb behind me.
Yeah. That's crazy. So he was really scared.
Yeah, it is kind of trippy that you do have it. And now that we have grandkids, we're kind of hoping maybe nothing really scary happens to us, but we do hear stuff from them now occasionally when I talk to my grandkids. I'm sorry, David don't have grandkids. I have grandkids. I hear them telling me stories also. As a matter of fact, I have a granddaughter named Kennedy, and she was trying to explain one to me. It was kind of interesting, but it's one of those things where I was doing something else. I wasn't really paying too much, so I need to go back and find out exactly what she was telling me. It's like you said,
right.
The children.
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, we may hear Kennedy's story in episode 3 or 4.
Actually, yes, that'd be something fantastic. If we can get some of these kids telling their stories, teenagers, whatever.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. That would be so cool.
Also, we're not just limited to that. In our first episode, I know we mentioned UFOs, paranormal, unknown.
Unknown, ghost stories, odd stories, you name it. Whatever you've got, we'd love to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
So, give us the call. What's that phone number, Rob?
It is 210-901-8666.
Or you can email us at info@rigormortisparanormal.com. Thank you for being with us today, and we really appreciate you listening and being a listener, and we hope to have you back on our next episode.
Very soon.
Thanks again, and see you later.
See y'all.